This is Goku-san, DBZ, and welcome back for another Top 10 Sunday. Now, unlike being dressed up like I normally am, I've changed my mind which Top 10 I'm doing this Sunday, because I was listening to a lot of like 80s and stuff, metal, over the past few days, and there's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt, Ozzy Osborne, and wearing this Black Sabbath cross. One, he's easily one of my top 3 favorite metal artists of all time, hands down. He is, of course, known as the Guardian of Metal. He is the Prince of Darkness. He is Ozzy Bloody Osborne. And today is the top 10 Ozzy Osbourne songs. Now, this will even include a few selected songs from Black Sabbath during the Ozzy years. So keep that in mind. But these picks will be my own personal favorite Ozzy songs. So keep that in mind when I'm ranking them. And of course, like traditionally, I will have honorable mentions before I announce number 1, of course. Now, with that said, please, at the end of this video, hopefully you'll end up enjoying this. Hopefully you thumbs up this video, like, and subscribe. Of course, follow me at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ as well as Google+. Coming in at number 10 is actually a tie between 2 classic Black Sabbath songs. The first of which is, of course, Iron Man, which is a great song, hands down. That's probably overall the most popular Black Sabbath song. Not my personal favorite Black Sabbath song, but it is definitely the classic Black Sabbath. Hey, I can't help but like it. It's easily my top 3 favorite older Black Sabbath songs. It's tied, though, with actually probably my number 2 or number 1 favorite old school Black Sabbath song. And tied with it, number 10, is Paranoid, which is a definite great song. Hands down, you can't be Paranoid. And as mentioned, in my own personal view, I think Paranoid is better than Iron Man. But it just depends on really your taste and style of Ozzy sound you like better. You have to keep that in mind when it comes to him, because he's got various different style of music throughout all the years, decades he's been around in metal music. Definitely the most influential single influence, definitely in metal music period ever. And I don't think anybody's going to argue that at all. Coming in at number 9 is off of his 2006 album, and that was Black Rain, the album. Coming in, and this was, though, in the special edition, which came out like 2007-2008 of the album, and the song is called Nightmare. Great song. Not the biggest fan of overall a lot of the newer Ozzy music, especially his newer material he produced after, 2004 Undercover, which was nothing but an album of Ozzy cover songs from other artists, which he did like 2 or 3 John Lennon covers, which, to be fair, his take on Working Class Hero was actually pretty good, and so was Good Times. But Nightmare is a good song. It has a very eerie sound to the song. Definitely does have that element that you do like about actually more the older Ozzy, the more creepiness, eeriness factor. It's definitely strong with this song, more so than most of the other songs easily off of the Black Rain album, hands down. Coming in at number 8 is definitely probably one of the 2 biggest hits that came off his 2001 album, and the song is called Gets Me Through. Great song, and I love the beginning line of it where he says, "I'm not the Antichrist or the Iron Man. I started walking before I ran," or whatever. Yeah, I need to re-listen to some of these songs, but great song overall. Hands down, you can't beat this song. Definitely one of the best songs off that 2001 album. Now, for me personally, the 2001 album is actually probably my top 3 favorite Ozzy Osbourne albums, because this was actually the very first album I actually ever bought. I heard a couple of his songs through friends over the years, but it wasn't until the 2001 album that actually got me interested in Ozzy's music. And this was the album that did it. So it definitely has a big influence on me overall because of it being the first Ozzy album I ever owned. So you have to keep that in mind. Coming in at number 7, also off of his album Black Rain, the song Black Rain, which is of course a very heavily influenced political song, obviously, but anybody that's listened to Ozzy Osbourne music over the years knows very all too well that Ozzy is known for his heavy political messages in his lyric writing. Definitely, it's one of his stronger lyrically speaking songs off of this particular album, hands down. And sadly, it did not end up one of the major singles off the album. Of course, the first major single off the album was Never Gonna Stop. But for me, Black Rain, I liked it because the heavy political message and the really strong lyric writing. And that's one thing, for the most part, I've respected with Ozzy on is, at least even if over the years the style of his music has gone down somewhat overall quality-wise, you can't say that about the lyric writing. The lyric writing still seems to be really strong in there, and particularly on that particular album had really good lyric writing overall on many of the different songs. Coming in at number 6 is I Don't Want to Stop, which is, as I just mentioned, the first single off that album, bleh. And definitely a good song, not as strong in the aspect of lyric writing and overall lyric quality, but it's a very enjoyable, very upbeat song, which you don't always get really upbeat songs from Ozzy, because that's not exactly his trademark, if you will, when it comes to his music writing. So you have to keep that in mind when it comes to Ozzy, because his tone is usually more dark and eerie, like I mentioned, like songs like Nightmare and others, more so than the tone and stuff of songs like I Don't Want to Stop. But still a good song nevertheless. And one of his more successful songs when it comes to the Billboard charts, as well as it made it pretty high for quite a while actually, also on the VH1 Top 20 charts. Coming in at number 5 is off of Black Sabbath's first album in decades, 13. And it's a really well done song, and it's called God Is Dead, ? In other words, God is dead? But yes, really good song, top-notch quality, and it really shows that all the members of Black Sabbath, even after like 40 plus years doing music, they had not lost at all their style. They had not lost their punch. Now, some people today would say they like the greater like guitar tricks and stuff of nowadays and things like that. But in a lot of also metal and stuff of today, you don't get a lot of heavy, like bass guitar and stuff like that. A lot of good strong bass in the music. And you can't say that with this song and general, this album from Black Sabbath 13. Really well done song, and Ozzy's voice shines throughout this album. It really does have the very much the darker, eerie tone to it that most people, I think, that have listened to Ozzy for years really love. And that really helped the Ozzy loyalists and definitely hardcore fans, which I know a certain coworker at work that is a hardcore Ozzy fan. Through and through. He eats, lives, and breathes Ozzy Osbourne. There's no doubt about that. Easily probably the biggest fan I know, definitely of Ozzy. Coming in at number 4 is off of also their 2001 album, which is called Dreamer. Definitely one of virtually the only ballad songs you hear from Ozzy himself, but it's a great song. Very strong writing, lyrically speaking, and the music video is very interesting done. It's definitely a much more artistic standpoint, you could say, with the overall music video. Interesting enough, the music video was actually directed by Rob Zombie, which is actually quite interesting if you think about it. Nowadays, Rob and Ozzy don't, well, Rob doesn't really like Ozzy now, but back then, they actually got along pretty well. And I loved it from the artistic standpoint. Definitely, the music video is very interesting and very different for Ozzy, and very different to most traditional mainstream music videos from the way it was done. But I actually very much respect it for that, being unique and different. Because you don't always get that with artists that are really super well known and have been in the mainstream for decades. And I guess you could say it's like Ozzy's version of Imagine, basically. It's like his take on Imagine, his version. And it's really good. Coming in at number 3, one of his most underrated songs, hands down, and off his 2001 album. It's called Running Out of Time. And it's a really good song. It's interesting at the end of the song because he is shouting for Sharon and stuff in the song. So that's interesting to say the least. But it's a really interesting song. If you actually listen to the lyrics, it's unique for most metal and stuff, especially of the early 2000s. The style of the music is different than a lot of Ozzy songs, and the lyric writing is different than a lot of other Ozzy songs. That's probably what's so high up at being one of my favorite songs from him, and I just can't believe how few people listen to this song. Trust me, I've looked it up on YouTube. The song does not have that many views compared to a lot of his other songs. I don't think I've seen virtually any videos up of this song with over 100,000 views. And a lot of his songs have millions and millions of views. So if that says anything. Coming up at number 2, I am convinced that this has probably the best guitar solo period of any metal music of maybe the 80s, definitely, and perhaps easily one of maybe the top 3 best guitar solos of any song period ever in rock music. And that's one reason why it's so high up on the list. And it's interesting, the lyric writing of the song, and I know actually about the individual this song is for. Now, the name of the song is called Mr. Crowley. And let me put it this way. If you've never heard Mr. Crowley, I recommend you actually check out one of the videos uploaded here on YouTube of the song. Trust me, the guitar solo towards the end of the song will blow you freaking away. It's insane how good this particular solo is. It's just ridiculous. And it also makes it sad that that particular guitarist passed away not too long after. It showed us what kind of music we could have expected, like guitar-wise, with Ozzy, had he have not passed away. It's insane what kind of future music we could have had after the incredible job and performance he did on this song. Now, this song, of course, as I mentioned, is called Mr. Crowley. It's based around an individual that died in the 1940s. His name was Aleister Crowley. And if you don't know anything about Aleister Crowley, I'll talk about him in the future on another video, which I'm planning on doing about theology and world religion, because he comes up a lot, in particular in the occult community. He was very influential on occult practice, doctrine, and studies and stuff from a more spiritual, theological standpoint. I'll just leave it at that for now. But if you want to know anything else about him, just type it up on Google or here on YouTube, and you'll find a lot of stuff pop up on the guy. Honorable mentions. The song Black Sabbath. War Pigs. Let me hear you scream. Bark at the moon. Trapdoor. The almighty dollar. I just want you. Miracle Man. Digging Me Down. Number 1. Easily his most recognized song ever, and definitely a signature when it comes to the guitar riff and the overall melody of the song, and it is hands down his most successful standalone song ever done. It's by far his most recognized song ever done. Coming in at number 1 is Crazy Train, which of course at the very beginning starts out with Ozzy doing his laugh and starting to build up that amazing rhythm and beat, which is insane how good the song is. The guitar work is again top notch, just like in Mr. Crowley, and it truly is a pinnacle song that I don't think anyone else will ever be able to do this song justice. If anybody ever tries to do a cover, they better be a good artist, they better have the chops and the good guitarists and stuff to do it, because trust me, it's not going to be, it's one of those songs I don't think any other artist is going to be able to duplicate a song like Crazy Train. Trust me, take my word on that one. But as always, this is Goku Sun DBZ. And of course, as I said at the beginning, please thumbs up this video, subscribe, follow me at Twitter and also Google+. And stay tuned for next Sunday, for Top 10 Sunday. I will be counting down the top 10 songs for a German band, well, which was, actually, should I say, a German thrash metal band, which did all their songs in English, called Primal Fear. It's a band that does not get the reputation or respect they deserve, but next Sunday I will be counting down the top 10 Primal Fear songs. So, I hope you liked top 10 Ozzy Osbourne songs. Leave a comment below, tell me what your favorite Ozzy songs were, what your favorite Black Sabbath songs are of the Ozzy years. And I'll see you again here enough soon in YouTube land. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.